if you qualify to not spinning up in the tenant truck, riding around your block. See, man, see, man, I get a word in this shit from top to bottom like a motherfucking ceiling fan.
Hold on. Might have to say all that again. Everybody on the YouTube. All right, All right, cool. Everybody on the YouTube, I got Shabar. He put a 2 and a 1, so I don't know if he just pocket dialing or whatever. If I'm coming through clear on the YouTube, go ahead and press 1. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, y'all can hear me? No? Yes? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. All right, cool. Hey, Shalom Israel's ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, back in 1969 under commanding General Yohana, Priest and Officer Kazak Damar, ISUPK, Jacksonville, Florida. All right, in the building once again, Monday night, every Monday night. Make the Bible make sense. It's Truth 101, where we answer all your questions, go into this Bible, and we teach the truth. And the beginning of the truth is finding out that everybody that they taught you was white and the Bible is not white, right? All the people that you see, Moses, Jesus, all the famous people from the Bible was actually the children of Israel. And who the children of Israel are in today's time now, they are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, broadcasted live on the ISUPK Florida YouTube. And right now, I'm also on Bigo Live. It's because I got some people over there. So we do classes over there as well. If you got any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm finna try to get y'all this link, right? So that the brothers can come up, read, do whatever they do. But I am having a little technical difficulty, so I really don't want to touch it too much before I start acting stupid, right? Hold on, let me see. Let's see if I can put it in the chat real quick. This might help me out. See if that worked. All right, that one should work. I'm gonna see if I can get it. I got some troopers too that should be in class, but I do know that it was an issue with the class earlier, so I ain't gonna give them too much hell if they ain't here. See if this link worked though. Can somebody coming in see this link? Hit the link. All right. Pop up. You want to read? You want to ask a question? Use that link for that. All right. In the meantime, what I will do is we'll go into Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. Oh, I was looking up something. Been having some interesting discussions on Ezekiel, book of Ezekiel and the prophet, some of the visions that he had and how they coincide with the new covenant. Yeah. So all of that is open. Once again, I'll take your questions. Anybody in the chat, can you tell me whether or not that link is working? Is the link working for me to let brothers and sisters in if they're trying to ask questions? That's what I'm trying to find out now. So, all right. Cool. Maybe. It looked like it might be. Let me see. All right, so that might be the wrong link. Let me give you a right link then. This might work. Shit, crazy. I don't know who this dude is. No, we're doing by the prince. The prince. Sacrificing in Ezekiel. $45 and $22. All right. All right, let's see if this one work. Y'all check this out. Damn, it look like I disappeared too. Let me go to the YouTube, see what's going on here. Shit might work better with my own. Shit might work better with my own. I could be seen or heard, but not seen. Seen and not heard, heard but not seen. Yeah, I gotta find that. All right, try it now. Okay. Here we is. It's 7:30. I was right here, 6:50, trying to get this thing squared away. Still ain't working. Everything is fighting against me doing the job that I'm supposed to be doing, and that's bringing the scriptures out to the people, answering questions. Shabar was able to get in here. Probably could see Shabar even if you can't see me. It's crazy. Get in here. Probably. Hey, Shalom,
Shalom, Lord Christ. Shalom, Lord
Shabar.
Christ.
I guess I'm a ghost or something. It can't be seen. Let me try this.
There you go.
No, still ain't on there.
I just see the palm trees in ISPK Duval.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
Hmm.
I'm sitting right in front of the camera too. Shabar, you there?
Khan.
If you could, go ahead and break down Hebrews 5 and 12. And then let me pop out for a second while you do that and see if I can get it to work right.
Okay. Khan. All right, the book of Hebrews, chapter 5 and verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, But when it's time to get back to this word of the Most High God, you're not going to just pick up this Bible and mysteriously get this understanding. There's going to be teachers like in the ISUPK, the men above us, Commander General Yohanan, General Mahyman, General Mayak, and on so down with the generals. They teach the captains up. And guess what? Those captains teach the officers up. We do the same thing with the troopers. So from the top, for when ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God. So to be able to understand the Most High God, you're going to be taught. And in ISUK here, you're going to be taught through what? You're going to hear men prophesying the truth of this Bible, not nothing made up. Since 1969, there's been men set up to teach ordained priests and prophets in the ISUPK. So in Hebrews 5 and 12 is a milk scripture. Basically, when you come into the truth and the knowledge of this Bible, like a newborn baby, you have to be given milk. Milk is the basic scriptures, right? The meat scriptures. That's not how you learn anything by getting into the difficult things, the meat. You start with the milk. So this is the scripture Officer Kazak goes to in starting out the class, because he's ordained over Florida to be able to bring out this truth. So once again, before I move on, Hebrews 5 and 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God. So there's a ranking order, there's a ranking structure when it comes to these scriptures. And guess what? Yahushua is laying it down flat for us, the brotherhood and sisterhood we ought to have. So guess what? There's no battle for ranking here. There's different members of the body, and that's how we are taught. So let me jump to the next scripture. Let's see. With that being said, we'll jump over to Matthew 5 and 12. So when learning these scriptures, first thing the Christian church is going to tell you is that the laws are done away with. We know in the ISUPK here that there's laws, statutes, and commandments to establish order. The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17. These letters are written in red. And Jesus Christ, so it's going to be called Jesus Christ by the Christians of this world. His Hebrew name is Yahushua. He says in verse 17, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophecies. Oh, Salaki, I can see you now. You're back visible on the screen.
You can go ahead and finish breaking it down, and
Okay,
I'll jump in.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So Yahushua is saying, don't even think that he's coming to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So he's come to show us in this walk here of life, he's elevated the law. He's elevated these things. So the law of Moses, guess what? Yahushua is back on the earth at this time, and he's walking the earth, and the same laws that are applied then are here now. Because what was written aforetime is for our learning. And this is in the New Testament. So-called Old Testament Israelites and New Testament Israelites, it's hand in hand, the Old and the New Testament. Christ is letting us know he's not come to destroy the law or the prophets, but to fulfill. That was it. You want me to jump back to Hebrews 5 and 12?
No, the water for that. Anybody got any questions, just go ahead. I had a little technical difficulty. Anybody, either one of y'all brothers got questions that's on the stage?
Salakia, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I have a question about multiple wives. I was talking to somebody about that, and I would like to know exactly if when somebody have multiple wives, if there is a law in the Bible to show you how to live with these women.
Um. Okay. There's
And
laws
my
that say what you
second
can't
question
do,
is
right? Can you hear me, Marsha?
another one concern.
All right. There's laws that tell you what you can't do, right? And they would go along with any other laws. For instance, um, you can't make it an orgy, right? You can't have sex with two women at one time because they are not supposed to see each other's nakedness. So that's two different. That's a different law. These are laws that exist, right? You can't steal. You can't commit adultery. So you bring all the laws into a marriage, so they don't go anywhere. As far as specifics on how to deal with them, that's like asking, is there a law that says can you leave your lights on at night or must you turn all your lights off? Or what temperature should you put your thermostat on in your house, right? Everybody's situation is going to be different when it comes to how you do something. And counsel would probably be the best way. But if you're asking about the Bible, the thing that it says specifically is that when you get ready to give your inheritance, if you have a wife that you don't like or care for, and then you have one that do, and the one that you don't care for has your firstborn son, you can't then punish that child, right? Based on your dislike for their mama or your wife that you dislike. Or if you have a servant and you make her your wife, and then you get a wife that's not a servant, her food, her raiment, meaning her clothes, another wife. So it's laws like that in the Bible. And if you would like, we can go in and look at those ones if you understand what I'm saying. But nothing specific on like you I don't know, you have to have a woman. I mean, both women have to be like this, or you have to treat them this way, or whatever. Right? Is every law that is already given would apply in marriage. So you bring that law, you just deal with any other way that it would speak about how you would treat your wife. So then if you throwing in the New Testament, then you would be saying like, hey, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and was willing to give his life for it. So now this becomes a rule that you would institute in a marriage. Not only do you have to do it for one person, but you have to do it for more than one person if you have more than one wife, right? Your responsibility, right, to make sure and help the sister govern herself and the responsibility that comes with being a husband. You not only have to do that with one person, but you have to do it with more than one. So basically, you're applying the entire Bible to any marriage you have, whether it be with one sister or another sister or both sisters. But then there's laws like what is in the law where it says, Moses, you can't. They said you can't marry two sisters, right? Or you can't marry a mother and a daughter. There's laws like that exist, but that's all in the law. Are you speaking of those type of laws, or are you speaking of something else?
I, I think that's what I want to hear because I asked him because he told me can those two women, those two wives can sleep together on the same bed? Can they sleep? Can they live together and on under the same roof? Things like that.
Yeah, they absolutely can live together under the same roof. It would not be lawful for them to have sex with each other, because that would be an abomination if that's what you're talking about. As far as sleep in the same bed, now we getting a little weird. It's nigh unto them having sex. It would not be practical. However, there are brothers that have wives that get along or something like that. Let's say they go on a trip, and the brother says, all right, we all gonna stay in this one room. There's a big bed there, and they sleep together as far as they go to sleep together. I mean, that would be impractical. It's not something that I would suggest. However, the sin comes in when they do something that's against the law, right? You know what I'm saying? Is of a brother would say, it's just like two brothers. You know what I'm saying? Me and my brother go somewhere and we like, yo, these rooms are $700 like next week at the Fire Weekend Cookout because the Lollapalooza is $700. He say, hey, you can sleep on the floor or you can sleep in my bed or whatever the case. There's certain instances where, people might share a bed if it's big enough. Family does that. If it's like that, if that's what you mean, I mean, there's no law, there's no sin, right? If that's what you're talking about. But if you're talking about can they sleep together, like can they have sex? Absolutely not. There is no circumstance where a man can lie with a mankind and a woman can lie with womankind and still follow the rules of the Bible. They can engage in any type of sexual activity and it can be considered righteous. And marriage is ordained by God. So it absolutely cannot happen and them be in the right no kind of way. Is that what you were asking?
Not a don't concern. Salakia, sir, I have a second question. I don't know if you heard about the Darien Gap, a road that a lot of people take from Panama to Mexico. I don't know if you heard about it. He passed through the jungle of Colombia, Panama, a bunch of countries. I don't know if you heard about it before, but we have a big problem in our Asian community about that because many of them who pass through that road to get to Mexico, they got molested. They got molested, men and women. Men got molested in front of their wives, and women got molested in front of their husband and kids. They violated the kids and in everything. And if you have money or not, some of them they do pay not to do that to them, but they do it anyway. They have group mercenaries inside of that jungle who stop them and do all kind of evil thing with them. Somebody like this, sir, if they come into the truth, would they be allowed in the school or not?
This is I laugh because this is actually a very similar question that Officer Magazar had last week. I guess we'll call people who abuse children, right? Sexual abuse or whatever the case may be. It was talking about that. And it was also talking about, people who do SA, which they call sexual assault, whether it be on a minor or an older person. Could they come into the schools, right? And I did a whole breakdown on it. It's called Could Predators Come Into the Truth or something like that. No, do child predators deserve grace? You was in that class, right, Masha?
But I don't concern. I was in it.
All right, so the answer, the question is, do child predators deserve grace? That's the question.
La, sir.
La, but neither does anybody else, right? Grace is a gift from
Neither.
God. It's forgiveness. It's wiping the slate clean. It's allowing people to have a fresh start in hopes that they would understand that they deserve to be put to death and that they will not do what they did again. That's what this is all about, right? Hold on. Give me Hebrews chapter 9. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 9. What you're talking about is a hard thing, man, because nobody understands grace, the grace of the Most High. There's a whole chapter in the Psalms where it's like God is good and his mercy endures forever, right? God is good and his mercy endures forever. So if you understand the Most High's mercy, you will realize that none of us deserve to be in the truth, right? Whatever you did before you came in here, no matter how great of a life you think you had, you know, you should understand that you are only alive because there is no Levitical priesthood operating. Our parents and grandparents about how to serve God. Once we understood, you know, when we would have found out it was wrong, we would have found out it was wrong as they was cutting our heads off. You know what I'm saying? That's when we would have found out it was wrong, right? Because everybody should have already out different spirit and they would never come into the truth. However, if they were Israelites and they wanted to stop what they were doing and change their life, you know, Paul was murdering people, right? Well, he was killing people. He thought he was doing it in the name of his God. He was a Pharisee who thought he was doing it to serve God. Say, hey, these Jesus people, they are worshiping an idol. And God of the Bible does not allow that. So I'm going to put as many of them to death as I possibly can. This is something that happened. However, when Paul was given the opportunity to come in and change his life and seeing the truth, he took it and ran with it and became a spokesman for Christ. One of the greatest writers in the first century and one of the biggest proponents to people turning and changing their life and following Christ. Now, if we would have just said that Paul was a murderer, does he deserve to come into the truth? Some of us did very, very evil things and wicked things in the world. For instance, slept with another man's wife, right? Sold drugs in our community, right? And we were allowed to come in. So where's the line? Where's the line of who gets to come in and who doesn't get to come in? Who gets mercy and who doesn't? Who gets to change their life and who doesn't? Are we drawing that line, or did the Most High draw that line and said, you know, when you come in, I will remember your sins no more? You got the scripture that I called for?
Salaki,
What
Hebrews
verse,
chapter
sir?
9.
Yeah, I said chapter 9, verse, I believe it's verse 13. Let me see. I think it's 13.
Come. Book of Hebrews chapter 9, verse 13.
You got it?
God, I don't cancel. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 13. For if the blood of bulls, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 13. For if the blood of bulls and the goats and the ashes and of an heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctified to the purifying of the flesh.
Keep going.
Verse 14. How much more shall the blood of Christ, who through eternal spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God?
So in the law, right? What you did is for certain sins, you were required for something to die. So whether that was a goat, a bullock, whether that was, a dove, a lamb, etc., something had to bleed in order for you to be, for you to repent from that sin. You had to give up something, and they had to take his life, right? It's saying right here in verse 12, it says, neither by the blood of goats and calves. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see. Yeah, by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered once in the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. So to be redeemed is where somebody pays the price for you to be a free man. You go and you get locked up, you call your bail bondsman, he gives them the money, they let you out, and then you pay him back, right? Well, this is a similar thing that's happening in the new covenant, right? You deserve the death. Your brother comes, pays the price for you. Now you're a free man. What you would do in the old covenant, you would bring your best goat or your best bullock. Now you would present that at the altar, and now you're a free man. You did it. You paid the price. You're free. You did it. Christ paid the price. You're free. Now, here's the only time that don't matter. That don't matter if you go out and you commit the same crime then again because you're a criminal. It's that simple. If you go out and you commit the crime after your brother has given his life for you, then you're a criminal. You deserve to die. Then what he did for you don't matter because you're committing the same crime again. You with me, Masha? Trooper Masha?
Canadon concept.
If these people are going to continue to commit these heinous crimes, it ain't no sacrifice that can cleanse them because they don't care about nothing, right? There are certain people, they'll take, like for instance, the Christian church, they'll take the grace that Christ gave by paying for their sin, right? Their crime that they committed, get out free, and then go commit the same crime again. For them, that's not what this is about. This is about people who realize that they've done something wrong, realize that they committed a crime, realize that they deserve death, and realize that their brother stepped in and took their punishment for them and will never go commit that crime again. That's how this is supposed to work. So if you go to verse 13, it says, for if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer, which is like a cow, right, sprinkling the unclean, sanctify the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through an eternal spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience. Now, this is, if you ain't got no conscience, this don't work. If you don't care, this don't work, right? This only works when you care, when you have a conscience, because now you see your brother die for you and you say, I'll never do that again because my brother gave his life for me. Now, if you ain't got no conscience, it ain't going to purge you from dead works to serving the living God. See how that work?
Canadon concept. I understand,
So if these people are Israelites and they in the jungle and they was raised savages and all they know is survive and kill and destroy, they would be like in the realm of what Adam was, right? Just like everybody else on the planet. But then the Most High breathed the breath of life into Adam, and he became a living soul. He gave him the power or the authority to be able to keep laws, right? To be able to follow instructions, to be able to do right and wrong, to choose to do what the Most High said or not. That's where we at in the truth. Everybody outside of the truth can do whatever they want. You want to go sleep with another man's woman? Feel free to do it. It ain't no priest that's going to come and chop you down. And America would probably glorify you. And the fact that all of these celebrities probably sleeping with somebody's woman, right? If you want to go and sell drugs, you are welcome to do it. America would probably glorify you. And to being a gangster is part of the American way. It was created based on American culture, right? You a murderer. These brothers is murdering people in cold blood and going to the studio and making a song about it to glorify their sin, because that's the culture. They ain't caring about no laws, statutes, and commandments. The only people who care about the laws, statutes, and commandments are in this class, are in this school. They're in John Muhammad's class tonight. They're doing something to show that they're making their election sure. I am not a part of the world. I'm bigger than that. It's more to me than just selling drugs, sleeping with women, getting high. You want to get high? It is glorified in the world. So in that where they at, right? In the jungle, it is glorified for them to molest women, men, children. They probably cannibals, all types of stuff. That's them just being people, right? That's the animal you would be without the law, statutes, and commandments. That's the animal that we was before God changed us into what he's changing us into now. You get what I'm saying? Do they have an opportunity? As long as they fit the bloodline of the people that's chosen, then that means the law was for them. You see what I'm saying?
Another one concept.
If not, then none of this Bible stuff is talking to them anyway. So they can go and get high, and they can sell drugs, and they can sleep with other men's wives, and they can, join the LGBTQ, whatever makes them happy. Let them people do whatever makes them happy. Our job is to fix the Lord's people, and he's choosing people. It ain't for everybody. He don't want everybody. You have the world, and then you have the truth. So if they would like to come into the truth and they are God's people, of course, they're more than welcome, but they can't bring whatever sin that they were doing. They can't bring that in here. It has to change. That's the only way it'll work. You understand?
Another one concept. Yes, sir, I understand.
All right. Any other questions? Hey, Most High Christ. Any other questions? I ain't see no questions in the comments. Let me see. Scroll up a little bit. Yeah, I don't see none. If y'all see something, let me know. Other than that, let me see. I had something I wanted to go into. Hey, Shabar, can you see everybody that's down there? Or you don't have access?
Let me just double check. Okay, I see the comment
to the
section.
Stream? No, the people that's down in the StreamYard, do you have access to see who's down there to make sure I pulled everybody up?
Wow.
All right, no sweat. Um. All right, let's get to it. I got this whole thing. I ain't gonna do it today, but there's a misconception when it comes to hell and heaven that a lot of people have, right? I'm not sure if y'all have ran across it, but you know what they taught us. That hell was somewhere under the earth with fire and a devil with a pitchfork. What else they say about hell?
Salakia.
Salakia, sir.
Y'all there?
Wakan.
Yeah, go ahead.
They basically just tell us it's underneath the earth. Salakia, are you still there? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm here. What happened?
Okay, no, the sound had gone out. It just like went mute. But I said they basically told us, like as you said, it's underneath the ground, heavens above. They basically have us believing that
Can you hear me?
you know, Khan Wakan. Also, Salakia, young man Fred and Trooper Kamar said they're backstage, sir.
What about them?
I said, Salakia, Trooper Kamar and young man Fred, they're backstage. I just seen a message come across my screen.
Yeah, I brought Fred up. I don't know how,
And Trooper
he's
Kamar.
not. I'll try to add him again. Kamar can't see on my screen. That's why I was asking. Because I had a little technical difficulties when I first started the live dealing with now. Fred, you up, right?
Khan out the one, I'm here.
Oh, I see him now.
Khan, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just making sure you was up. All right, cool. Trooper Kamar Kaya. You there?
Khan, sir. Salam, how about Shimya Shabakathum?
All right, Yabashim Shabakathum. What I was asking is, what's some of the things that y'all heard people say about heaven? Shabar, I think he was answering, but my it was going out.
Kind of Wakanda. I was just saying that they lie to us and tell us that hell's beneath and that heaven's above, and we know those things. They teach us about when you die, you're gonna go in some purgatory state, and you're gonna wait there, and until Christ comes back and gives judgment.
Right. I forgot about purgatory. You just said it. Go ahead, Masha.
They used to talk also about a place where they're gonna have a big fire, just like a volcano, things like that. If you don't follow, if you don't accept Jesus as your savior, they're gonna throw you there and you're gonna burn.
You're gonna burn. That was one of the key things they said. You're gonna burn. Yeah. So what is hell? Where is it? Is it in the ground? Is it a big fire? What is it? Anybody know some precepts that would
Salakia said,
describe what hell is? Yeah, go ahead.
hell is a condition, sir.
I ain't hear what you said. If you said something,
Salakia said, I said hell is a condition.
who told you that? Where's that at in the Bible? Can you hear me?
Yes, Salakia said, I hear you, sir.
Masha, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I hear you, sir. But I'm looking for that precept.
What does it say?
I don't find it yet, sir.
Salakia, sir. Salakia, sir.
Can you paraphrase it? Yeah, go ahead.
I got a precept for Revelation chapter 21 and verse 2. Actually, I could start at chapter 21, verse 1.
Hold that one for a second.
Okay. Come.
Let me. Anybody else got any? You'll see
Salakia,
why I said hold that one.
Salakia,
Go
sir.
ahead.
I actually had a question regarding this. My precept for this though is Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 10. You want me to read it for you, sir?
No, I want you to ask the question.
Okay, so the question is in Ecclesiastes.
Is your question is this a precept?
What I'm about to ask you, La'a, sir.
Okay, go ahead and ask your question, or
Well,
you can answer the question. My question was, go ahead.
it's pertaining to what we're talking about, and it's another precept. So it's the same thing. It's on the same subject, but it's another
Go ahead and ask your question. You can ask your question if you would like. You can ask your question, or you can answer my question. Before you move to another precept, nobody has given me a precept yet about hell, because everything they just said, people believe about hell. It's a place under the earth. It's a devil with a pitchfork. It's fire, and you burning, but you never burn up. But it's fire for eternity, right? What's some of the other things? The live was going out, right? Because I got this crazy thing. What's some of the other things people say about hell? Y'all said. I want to know if y'all have any precepts that says whether this stuff is real or not. What they told us about hell.
Salakia, sir.
You saying your question goes right along with this. Go ahead and ask the question.
Well, I don't. Never mind. Disregard the question, sir. I got two precepts if you want to expound on them.
You know You know I'm here. You know I'm here to answer questions, right?
Con, sir, but I've already asked Thawashot the question and he answered it. I just wanted to get
Go
you
ahead and ask. Go ahead and give me one of the precepts.
Con, sir. It's
Give me one of the precepts.
Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 10.
All right, go ahead and read Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. What does it say?
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and have forsaken the Lord. Would you like the other precept, sir?
Now, you want that broke down?
Well, Cons, I'm answering your question regarding the precept to what you were saying.
Oh, hell. Okay, I got you. Read it one more time. You got to forgive me. I'm having an issue right now, and I'm just trying to work through it. Y'all on my end, I know it's breaking up bad. Y'all might not hear it, but it's like that on mine, right?
Come on, sir.
Go ahead and read it one more time. Let me see if we can get to it. Tell me where you was at.
This is the Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 10. Salakia, sir, the whole chapter is heavy, if I may add.
Yeah, I might have read it before, once or twice. Go ahead. Go ahead, read verse 9 too.
Come, sir. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 9. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he careth for his elect. Verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord.
So when it says the ungodly will be punished, where would that be?
Salakia, sir.
Where would that take place?
Salakia, if I may,
go ahead.
It takes place in their imaginations, not in the actual place of hell.
No, that's not a breakdown for that particular verse. So the breakdown for that is for whoso it says, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations. When it's talking about your imaginations, right? It's talking about the things that you think about. Remember in the scriptures, your mind is your heart, or your heart is your mind. So where you see the heart is not talking about that thing in your chest that pumps blood. It's talking about your mind. So the things that you can derive in your imagination, like, yo, you know what? I could take over the world. Right? You could be like, yo, you know what? I think old boy's woman wants me, and I think I can have that. You know what? I probably can get away with running in this liquor store and robbing them and taking everything out the cash register. Who's going to know? You know what I'm saying? These are things you come up with in your imagination. All sin starts in your imagination. Once you know that it's something that's right or wrong, then you have the power to do it or don't do it. So that's why when it was saying what comes out your mouth is very, very important, because that's what you're really thinking. When General Yohana did the lecture on demons, he's saying it all starts with a conversation that you're having in your head. That's where it starts at. The conversation you having in your head. And then you got to be able to decipher whether or not that's the words of the Most High or that's the words of a demon. Now, if you let it get to the point where it's coming out of your mouth, then you have to decipher before it comes out of your mouth whether that you speaking the words of a demon or you speaking the words of the Most High, because you can do both. So when it's talking about in your imagination, it's what's in your heart. You understand that, right, Fred?
Con or the one.
Let's put heart there instead of imagination. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own heart, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. That's what that's saying. This punishment that's going on is not taking place in their imagination. The thing that deserves the punishment took place in their imagination, and they didn't stop it there. It then came out of their mouth, or it then was something that they did. You follow me?
Con, sir. Salakia.
Go ahead.
The only reason why I suggested that, if I may get your opinion on this, I don't know if you ever heard of NDEs or near-death experiences, but a lot of people seem to have died, have seen, certain things, and they have commonalities, and that's why I thought maybe that's what, it was in their head, their imagination. Salakia, so whatever, if you could break that down, why that may be that people have.
Yeah, a lot of the stories sound exactly the same. Some of them saw Dante's Inferno. You know what Dante's Inferno is?
Sir.
Anybody know what Dante's Inferno is?
I don't know what that is. Lucky.
Wow.
All right. Trooper Kamar Kaya, read, Google it. Just Google it, right? I don't want to get too far into it explaining what is Dante's Inferno. But hear what I'm saying. Some of these people who had these NDEs, as you call them, near-death experiences, majority of them come to the same conclusion or vision that they seen. And it's something that they've been told all their life, right? When we talking about heaven and hell, you got to remember that you already got a vision of what hell is in your mind based on what you've been taught. You already got a vision of what heaven is in your mind based on what you've been taught. And then we can go into the Bible and see what these things really are. So most of these people that say, hey, I had a near-death experience, I almost died, man, blah, blah, blah. What did you see? Well, you saw a tunnel. And then I walked into this light. And you know what I'm saying? Usually people are like, no, don't walk into the light because you're going to be dead or whatever. Or they see fire and people burning and tormented. Or they see great peace and wonderful things and all of this. Everything they see is something somebody already done seen before, because usually it's something that they believe is heaven or hell when they have these visions. It's a vision of somebody else's. Kamar Kaya, you got the whatever it say about Dante's Inferno.
Salakia, sir. A piece of it.
Go ahead and read it. What does it say? What is Dante's Inferno?
It says the first part of Dante Alighieri's Salakia, I don't know how to pronounce that, 14th century epic poem, The Divine Comedy, is an allegorical tale of a soul's journey through sin and toward salvation. The poem follows Dante as he descends from the 9 circles of hell, guided by the Roman poet Virgil. Each circle represents a deeper level of sin and its corresponding punishment.
So he did a whole poem where you walking through hell, and for each sin, you got a certain punishment that come along with it, right? You also have this fiery thing, what the brother was talking about too. They got purgatory and all of this stuff was made up in somebody's head. And then they kind of fed it to us. No different than, when you think angel, you see angel, you think, naked baby with wings or white woman with wings or whatever version you see. But when you go into Ezekiel, these things are hideous. They got 4 eyes and 4 wings and the feet like, I mean, head like a man and feet like animals, and you know what I'm saying? It don't look like what they portray it to be. The same way when you see how Christ looks in the Bible, he got hair wool, eyes like a flaming fire, feet like if they burned in a furnace. So he got very black feet. He got woolly hair, right? He got fiery eyes. And then you see the little picture that they put up that's supposed to be Christ. You see those two things don't match. The white babies and the angels don't match. The vision of heaven and hell don't match. All of these things are somebody playing with you because you don't know the Bible. And once you learn the Bible, then you don't have to be played with no more. They can't tell you that there's a devil with a pitchfork waiting to set you on fire down in hell. That's not how this works. Or that heaven is a place that you got to die and go to. Why we got to die and go to hell? The white man is in his hell right now. Your oppressor is in his hell right now. Why do you got to die to go there? Why can't you have heaven on earth? The reason is because they've taken your power from you, right? They've taken your power from you. Your power is how you get there. Shalom, young man Paul. Shalom, Cat. Shalom, God is light. Everybody that's in the chat, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. Or you can hit that link, and I'll try to get you in here so you can ask that question. Back to what you were saying, though. When people had a near-death experiences, majority of these stories is somebody else's story. The visions that they seen. Because Daniel had a vision, and his vision ain't look like theirs, right? The whole book of Daniel is his dreaming and visions and all of that. I don't know if you knew that, right? Hey, Shalom, Tupac Shakur, a.k.a. Anyways, and John on the island of Patmos had a vision. His entire dream that he had was in in Revelations. So as you read in Revelations, you're seeing, I saw a dragon and it had 7 heads, and I saw this and happening, and the lamb was here, and the 5, and there was a woman that was, all of that was dreams and visions. You get what I'm saying, Fred? And none of it don't look like the dreams and visions they have from these near-death experiences. But all of the near-death experiences that people have, they either got a tunnel where they're walking into the light and then they come into the peace, or they go to the torment, because all of these things is what they've been taught. But all of it comes from different cultures. Give me let's see, Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Give me that. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 16. I like that one from Wisdom of Solomon, though. That was a good precept. It don't go in depth, but it does give you an idea that there is some punishment coming from the Lord, right? But to me, based on what I know, I know what's going to happen. So, can somebody read that for me?
Concert. Concert whenever you're ready.
I'm waiting on you.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 6 and verse 16. And
chapter 3, verse 16.
Concert. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
All right. Read the next one.
Verse 17. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked. For
Hmm.
there is a time, there is for every purpose and for every work.
So remember what you just read in the Wisdom of Solomon when I told you to go up one that was talking about him judging the righteous, and when you went down to the one where you was at, it was talking about him judging the wicked according to the imagination, right? So this is Ecclesiastes, if I'm not mistaken. This is written by Solomon, right? And this is some game that he came up on, and when he asked the Most High for wisdom, he gave it to him. Well, he gave that wisdom to us if you can accept it, right? And moreover, I saw under the sun. What's under the sun? Anybody know what's under the sun?
Salakia.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead, Trooper.
The earth.
The
Well,
earth. Go outside, you look up, you see the sun. The sun is above the earth. The earth is up under the sun. So I saw up under the sun, or on the earth, the place of judgment. Now, if the place of judgment was in the place up under the earth, right, where you would go, or above the earth if you rise and go to heaven, then how is he seeing the place of judgment on the earth? Not below the earth, not above the earth. The place of judgment was under the sun. And look, this is how you know it ain't neither one of these places. That wickedness was there. So wherever this judgment is happening, wickedness is there. And the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So wait a minute. This is the place of judgment, the place of righteousness. So is righteousness there? It's iniquity there. Where in the world can you find, what place can you find righteousness and wickedness in the same place? Anybody know?
Salakia, sir.
Go
On
ahead.
earth.
Right here on
On
earth.
earth.
You got righteousness going on, and you got wickedness going on. So under the sun, the place of judgment, that is the place of judgment. You will be judged right here on the earth. And sometimes it can be instant, meaning you ain't got to wait to die. I knew brothers that robbed everybody, shot a bunch of people, and they're no longer with us. The scripture says, envy not thou not a sinner, because you know not what his end would be. There's plenty of people that were selling big dope and having parties and had all the women, had all the drugs and all of that, and they're no longer here. There's people that's very close to me that are still being punished for something they did 15, 20 years ago. That judgment happened right on the earth. There's people that got away with it, or at least it seemed that they got away with it and continued to live out their life, but they lived a life of suffering and didn't know why. That judgment happened on the earth. Do everybody understand?
Come, sir.
Give me Deuteronomy 32 and 22. That's what we got to understand, man. Like, everything they told us about this Bible was a lie. I mean, so why, if they lied to us about the Israelites being black, they lied to us about the law being done away with, they lied about Jesus being who he was and who he came for and who he died for, what makes you think they was going to tell you anything true? Why would they do that? They lied about everything else, right? Somebody got the scripture?
You say Deuteronomy 32:22.
32 and 22. Let's get it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains.
Nah, you want fire, you want hell, and you want fire in the Bible. There you go, right there, right? Go up one, read that.
Kanwakan, verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God.
Mm-hmm.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
You see that right there, right? The Most High said, because we moved him to anger, we made him jealous, he would do the same thing to us. Since we provoked him, then he's going to do the same thing to us. We made him angry, right? Oh, he gonna make us angry. Now, this is hell right here. For a fire is kindled in my anger. You ever heard the term, that nigga was 38 hot? You ever heard that term? Well, everybody don't use that term. I know we used it in Duval. You got me 38 hot. You ever heard that term? Somebody say he was hot. He was on fire. He was pissed. He was mad. That's what the Lord is with you. That's what the Lord is with me. That's how he was. We have kindled a fire, and his anger shall burn unto the lowest hell. Right? No matter where you at, you're going to feel it. And consume the earth. Where is the earth? Under the sun. Right? So the Lord being pissed off with you, and fire is going to consume the earth under the sun, the place of judgment. Right? You will be judged according to what you did when you provoked him to jealousy, when you provoked him to anger. Right? With his increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. So all the way to the highest point, all the way to the lowest point, you're going to be going through it. That's hell. That's hell. Right? I always break it down. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 30 and 19. Before we even get there, somebody else read it. Oh, Tupac, I knew you was saying. I was just
Sir, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead. Whenever you're ready.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you.
Mm-hmm.
That I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live.
So now we're going to break this down, right? Because a lot of people don't know this. Life and death, blessings and curses, heaven and hell. Of course, people know they opposites, but there are different ways to describe the same thing. Situations that you will come in contact with on earth, things that will happen to you for either serving the Most High or not serving the Most High. These things happen on the earth. Life and death happens on the earth. Why? How you know? In the Bible, it says, the thief cometh to kill, steal, and destroy, but I've come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. When we do the life and death breakdown, I often say that life is the blessings that come along with serving God. Death is the curses that come along with disobeying him. Right? Heaven is the same way. Hell is the same way. Heaven is the blessings that come along with serving the Most High. It's rulership, it's power, it's authority, it's a place of happiness. Hell is the exact opposite. It's having to serve another people, being the tail, being below. All of the things that it names in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Y'all ever notice we always read 15 on down, where it starts talking about the things that happen to you if you don't do what the Most High say? That's hell. No might in thy hand. The woman that's supposed to be so delicate that her feet don't touch the ground will hate her own children and her own husband. That's hell. This is the hell that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians been going through for a long time. It's hell. They waiting to die and go to hell, and some of us woke up there. We were born in this hell. Everybody understand?
Come.
I don't concern.
Let me see. Let me get the next one. Let's see. Give me Jonah, right? Jonah chapter 2. Let's go right there. Show you Jonah. Chapter 2, verse 1. Masha, you got it. Trooper Masha. You got it up?
After, not yet. I'm looking for it. Sorry.
All right, take your time. So as we go through this, you'll see that some of these people, they were saying the hell, just like we just read in Deuteronomy 32, where it was really just the Most High punishing them, and they was going through it, but it all was happening on earth. And see, that's the thing. Once you get that, you'll understand. Even if you don't get punished in this lifetime, I can show you. But that's in a reincarnation breakdown where you come back and you can still be punished. Whole nother conversation.
It's the book of Jonah.
Go ahead.
Jonah chapter 2, verse 9.
Verse 1.
Verse 9? Oh, verse 1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord, his God, out of the fish's belly. Verse 2, and said, I cried by reason of my affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice.
Now, so just imagine for a minute. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't believe this. I could go into, stories that people have told, whether they be true or not, about an air bubble, them being stuck in an air bubble inside a whale. If I was trying to prove the Bible, I don't go about to do that, right? But what I do know is the story of Jonah is that he was supposed to go to Nineveh to tell them what thus saith the Lord. He chose to go somewhere else, right? On the way to wherever else he was going, the Most High punished him for not doing what he said. Boat capsized. He ended up in the belly of a fish, right? As he's there, I don't know what's going on, but I can imagine him being stank, nasty, disgusting. A lot of things going on. Uncomfortable, terrible. Jonah is saying he prayed to the Lord while he was in this fish's belly and said, I cry by reason of my affliction. Now, this is what hell is, affliction. You are being afflicted, right? Unto the Most High, and he heard me, so he delivered him out of the belly of hell. Cried I, and thou heardest my voice. Now, this is a situation that happened on earth, and he's calling it hell, just like Deuteronomy 30 makes your enemies or make you jealous of the people that's a no people. When his anger is kindled against you, it's just like that. They both are happening on the earth. Everybody understand?
On our car, sir.
Come.
Give me Psalms 116 and 3. Psalms chapter 116, verse 3. Let's keep it moving. I got a whole PowerPoint on heaven. I was thinking about doing a lecture, but in the breakdown of heaven and hell, very similar things. You can see things happening that are great and wonderful, and the Lord giving people power, and giving people might and authority and judgment and rulership and things that they prayed for and blessings. That's heaven. And it happens right here on earth. I believe this is King David. Somebody go ahead and read it. What did I say? What did I call for?
Salakia. Psalm
116.
Come.
That's 3.
Come. Yeah.
What verse?
Verse 3.
Psalms 116. Let's see. All right, yeah, go ahead.
Come. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 116, verse 3. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the pains of hell got hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow.
This is hell. David was going through it because David did not know at the time, but the Most High was going to put him in heaven on earth. He would be the king. He would be the ruler of the Lord's people, right? He would rule over the children of Israel. He would have enough power to put Edomites in chains and Moabites. He killed thousands of them at his hand and at his command. David has so much power, he ain't know what to do with it. Even though he had his own wives, he went out and put a man on the front line to die so he can have his wife. This is a story in the Bible, right? That was the heaven that he was in, the way you enjoy it. And guess what? When he did it, the Most High sent Samuel to come say, hey, I gave you everything you could ever wanted, and you went and took something from a man who had nothing. That's in the Bible, right? But before he went through that, David was on the run. Saul was the king. Saul was mad that the Most High was taking the kingdom from him and giving it to David. So he was going to kill David. And David had so much love for Saul that he didn't want to even fight back. He was loyal to Saul to the point where even when he had the chance to kill him, he did not. But as he's going through this, imagine if President Donald Trump wanted you dead today. The president of the United States. You having to run and hide and the things you have to do to make sure you got away. Then now you picture the king of Israel wanting David dead. As he's going through this, he might have had some nights where he was hungry. He might have slept in a ditch. He might have had to go anything. Everywhere he go, he thinks somebody looking for him. They calling the police on him. He's on the run, and he call it hell. The sorrows of death compass me. You feel like you're going to die. The pains of hell got hold of me. I found trouble and I found sorrow. And this was right here on the earth. Y'all get it, right?
Okay.
That I don't answer.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that's going on with hell where, you know, they trying to make you believe in Greek mythology, make you look at it the way the ancient Egyptians looked at it. Got the weighing of the heart and dogs come eat you up or something like that if you don't move the right way. Nah, this is simple. God gave his people orders, things to do. Live like this. Thou shalt not. Do this, don't do that. And based on those things, you'll either get punishment or you'll get rewards. Right? And even if you make it here without getting the punishment that you deserve, you'll come back. Let me read you one more.
It's a lock, yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
And on that topic, it was like, I believe you broke this down a few classes ago in Isaiah when it was saying oh, how is thou fallen from heaven, oh Lucifer, and you was breaking it down like, yeah, like that's basically like a position of power, like falling, you know,
Oh,
like
that's a
falling
good
from
one. That's a good precept for this too. Yeah, let's go there next. Give me Daniel chapter 12, verse 2, and then we'll get that one in Isaiah chapter 14. Daniel chapter 12, verse 2. Anybody got it? Nobody got it?
It's a
All right,
lock.
I'll read it myself then. Go ahead. You got it?
Go with cuz, sir.
All right. Go ahead. You can
It's the book of Daniel,
well
chapter
read verse
12,
1.
verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
So this is something that we're talking about for people who are already dead. If you go into the New Testament, you'll see a story where it says they ask Christ, they see a man who was born blind. He was blind ever since he was born. And they say, who sinned? Was it him that sinned or his parents that he was born blind? Now, remember in Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19, where it says, I have presented to you life and death, blessings and curses. Therefore choose life that thou and thy seed may live. Remember, I brought that out when Christ was saying, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. The decisions you make can affect your children as well. So hell, you can put your children in hell by disobeying the Most High. Did y'all know that? You can set them up for heaven or rulership by obeying the Most High. because you are your ancestors and you are your descendants. I ain't going into that. But here's what it says in Daniel. I'm going to read verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, and which stand for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. This is day revelation. The way we have revelation now, before John got these visions, their revelation was in Daniel. It's the same. It's a lot of the same visions, just the Most High is being a little bit different about how he's giving it to John on the island of Patmos. But it's pretty much the same, a lot of the same visions. So now this is what they would call the Great White Throne Judgment. That's what they would call this in Revelations, where at the end of the story now, people are being judged. Right? And remember in the New Testament, it'll say, the dead in Christ shall rise first, but everybody gonna rise who's already dead, because this is spiritual. Some live not again till after the 1,000 years. That's spiritual. All of this stuff is in the Bible. But what he said is many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth, meaning they dead and gone, shall awake, meaning they back on the earth. How will they come back? Either they're going to have a glorified body that those spirits are going to put on, or they'll be born through their descendants, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, etc. And some going to awake, some to everlasting life, meaning your people did what it took for your family and for your tree and for your stock to be represented in the book of life. And then some to everlasting contempt and shame, meaning they did not. Right? That contempt and shame is what we would call hell. That life, those blessings is what you would call heaven. But it's happening right here on the earth. Otherwise, why would they wake up there? They in the earth. You see that? They that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. This ain't no fairy tale place under the earth or no fairy tale place in the sky. It's right here on the earth. This is what the brother was talking about. Let's go to real quick. Isaiah chapter 14. I believe it's Isaiah 14. Kamar Kaya, since you brought it up. Listen to the end of the story. This is one of my favorite verses. And give me verse 1.
Oh no. It's a lot, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Could you have one of the other I can read for a second? I had to take a phone call.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fred,
can you read? Fred, can you read it?
Salakia, so what's the verse?
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So this is a story about what I would call heaven. The Most High having mercy on his people and choosing his people. And then the strangers in the land going to join and try to cleave to his people. Read verse 2.
Concert, verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
So this is talking about the children of Israel possessing other people, other nations. The people shall take them and bring them. Remember, you got these strangers trying to cleave to the house of Israel because they notice that the Most High has chosen them, right? And oh, well, yeah, you can cleave to the house of Israel. What we're going to do is what it says here in Isaiah, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. That's right. Keep going.
On all the one. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Most High in Christ. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Now, we was talking about hell, and that's the hell is being oppressed. But this is heaven right here, where you take them captives, whose captives you were, and rule over your oppressors. Now, this is talk about going from hell of being oppressed to the heaven of being in rulership. And it all happens on the earth. If you go down to verse 4, I'll read it for the sake of time, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. Against who? Against the king of Babylon. Against who? Against the king of Babylon. And say, how have the oppressors ceased and the golden city ceased? So this is saying when we rule over our oppressors, one of those oppressors was somebody who was the king of Babylon. Right? You scroll down to verse 10, and it says, all they shall speak and say unto you, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like us? So that this is talking about a person who was in heaven. He was the ruler. He was the king being brought down, and now the people that was above up under him. Remember, we ruling over our oppressors and taking captives the people whose captives we were. And when that Babylonian king falls, they're going to be saying to him, have you become weak like us? That's verse 10. Right? Verse 12, they talking to the king of Babylon. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? So now when he comes from his position of authority and rulership and power and riches, they're going to be asking him, how are you fallen from heaven? This is not talking about a fallen angel. That's another lie they gave you. This is talking about the king of Babylon falling from his position of authority. How art thou cut down to the ground? You did weaken the nations. Everybody was up under you, right? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend to the heaven. I will exalt my throne. Remember, he got a throne above the stars of God, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of an oak. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. So what happened is while he was in that position of rulership and authority and riches and might and power and heaven, he forgot that the Most High could control who's in heaven and who's not. He forgot. Remember what Christ said. They that exalt themselves will be humbled, and they that humble themselves will be exalted. For the same purpose did he raise up Pharaoh, gave him all the power and might, just so he could destroy him and show him that God, the Most High, the creator of heaven and earth, no matter what king sits on what throne, he is greater. He is the King of kings. Y'all with me?
Sir.
Con, sir.
Verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell. to the sides of the pit. Y'all see that, right?
Gone.
That kind of don't answer.
Out of that position of rulership and brought down to punishment, torment, serving another nation, being the servant, being the slave, whatever words you want to say. How do you know that we're not talking about an angel like they told us? We still talking about the king of Babylon, verse 16, that they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? This ain't talking about no angel. It said the people that see you gonna be like, damn, this is the man that made the earth to tremble. And now he's become weak as one of us. Everybody understand this is happening on the earth. This is a person that was in heaven, the king of Babylon, being brought down to hell and oppression. Same thing we go through. And though it says in verse 2, we shall rule over our oppressors. They shall take them captives whose captives they were. The meek shall inherit the earth. The first shall be last. It's all over the Bible. It's all over the Bible. Things going to be flipped upside down, and the people that's been serving will be the people that's on rule. It's a scripture that say, I saw servants on horses and princes on the ground. That's not how it's supposed to be. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you are the princes of the power, the sons of God. Yashar Allah in the Hebrew. Yashar means prince. Allah means like Elohim, means like God. So you are the sons of God, the princes of the power. Why are you on the ground? And your oppressor is on the horse. Because of Deuteronomy 32, you have provoked me to jealousy with that which is not a God. So I will provoke you to jealousy with that which is not a people. This is hell, y'all. This is hell. But Christ have come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. That is heaven. Repent. Serve our King Yahushua, who will rule over the nations. And I'll tell y'all about what's going to happen, because Christ was the beginning of the turning things upside down and us coming out of this hell into what would be considered heaven, a position of rulership, might, and power, right? So when you go to the Revelations and you see the 144,000, all right, then it's talking about us coming into power and reigning under Christ. Anybody got any questions about that? No? Let's see here. Where's my security announcements? Shabar got out of here before before I can have him read it. Hey, I need one of y'all troopers to go and take y'all test so y'all can help me out. Look like all the officers stop coming to class on Mondays. By the way, this is a mandatory class for all of Florida. If you know anybody in your city that would like to come into the troop, just have them come to this class. If there's any officers or troopers, they should know that this class should be here. All right? You should be here.
Go, sir.
With that, I'm gonna go ahead and do the security announcements. And for the people on Beagle, I know you might ain't never heard these. Let me run through them real quick. All right. But these for the people in the school. ISUPK security announcements. We the ISUPK start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, back in 1969, under commanding General Yohana. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. So now, what you are not to do is to get in the way of somebody trying to come in and change their life. If you're a sister and you see a brother and he comes in here and he look good to you, it would be a wicked thing for you to stop that brother from learning, have him focusing on being your husband when he trying to figure out who God is, trying to figure out how to be a good husband. If you're a brother and you see a sister trying to come into the school, that is not the time for you to push up on her and say, hey, you know what? You don't need to learn from the men of God. Let me teach you. I got these side lessons over here. Because all you're going to be trying to teach her, well, y'all know how it go, man. We're not children. These announcements are here for a reason. Let them people come on into school and learn and change their lives before you have them worry. Otherwise, it's going to cause problems in that marriage later on. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Ties, which is a commandment. Oh, and there's another 6 months where the brothers and sisters will court each other. And if after then they want to marry, they can get permission to do so. All right. Ties, which is a commandment, is found in Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. A tenth of increase is pronounced ma'ashara in the Hebrew. So if make $100,000 a year, $10,000 would go to the priests and prophets of the Lord to help build up this nation or whatever they see fit. Y'all know Commanding General Yohana helps house, feed. We do this all over. Pay your tithes, right? If you make $100 a day, 10 of those dollars goes to the men of the Lord. It's been like that all the way since Numbers, Deuteronomy. Since the Levitical priesthood, it was like that. 10th of every penny of increase the Lord gives you. There's also a priest fund. You want to help the school, you done paid your tithes, you want to help the school out. We do a lot of things on our own dime. And brothers came all the way from other cities, brothers catching buses, brothers, patching up on gas to get here for us to go out and to speak against the thing that happened in Jacksonville where that brother, the police broke his window out, hit him in the face, drug him out the car because he ain't have his lights on in the daytime, right? That happened here. The brothers came from all different cities in Florida to come up and support the camp that went out in Jacksonville, and we spoke out against it when nobody else would, and about the racism in Jacksonville, Florida. So one time, y'all get them brothers a hand. Brothers that came out did a great job, excellent work. You know what I'm saying? Because if nobody don't stand for black people, we will. All right. You can give a priest fund. It's just any amount. It's whatever you want to give. It's an offering from the priest, and that's not mandatory. All right. Whatever amount you would like. Upholy COVID convocations. I don't have the calendar in front of me. Get with your camp leader and find that. Right. Make sure you subscribe to ISUPK Florida. You subscribe to ISUPK online classes, right? We also have a BIGO. I want everybody who has not already to go to No Cowards BIGO on YouTube and subscribe to that. You'll see a lot of our battles that we have over there on the BIGO Live app. You know what I'm saying? We got clips. we brought Commanding General Yohana's been on Bigo. So if you ain't been, and Commander, you ain't more busy than him, why you ain't been over there to see what we doing? He was there. Captain Tazariak comes on there. We got an interview. I got a two-hour interview with Captain Kataza on there. Got an interview with Captain Mawaquad. We will be doing an interview probably on Wednesday, I believe, with Captain Hadariala, promoting Fire Weekend, which is, I believe, next weekend. This weekend coming up. Anybody going to Fire Weekend out of Florida, let me know. All right. And with that, any brothers wanting to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boot, shirt, headband, pants, and scarf. All right. We had 2 brothers in the last 2 weeks get raised up. I'm waiting to raise up another brother. I'm trying to get everybody rank in Florida. If you want it, just come and prove that you're loyal. You will definitely get it. All right. You'll definitely get it. The Most High is in the business of putting people to work. What Christ said is the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Get in, help your brothers with this work. And with that, General Yohana been on for probably about 15 minutes ago. Now, y'all go ahead over there to Commanding General Yohana's podcast radio show. And Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Barakatham to the brothers, which is Most High. Bless you in the name of Yahushua. Yahweh Shamar Alathan by Hashem Yahushua is the Most High. Watch over you in the name of Yahushua to the sisters. All right. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Oh, they
Shalom,
trying to get the
Israel.
link. Let me see if I can get them the link. Let me see if I can get the link. Hold on. To the No Cowards Bigo, I think I offered and told them. I guess we're in a time now where we want to make it easy for people. So I'll go do the work for y'all and put the link in the. Let's see here. Yeah, we need about 20 more. There you go. Done. All right, y'all grab that. Go on in and subscribe. Shalom. Yabashim Shabakathon. Oh.
Shalom,
Look at that. They
Yahweh
go
Hashem
a double salute,
Shabbat.
Kumar. You seen it?
Salaki, what'd you say, sir?
That was a double salute.
Oh yeah, all together.
Mm-hmm. Man, what the hell?